against firefighters and their kitten-saving skill set per se. It was complicated, that's all. The fireman's brow furrowed. I'm, walking my dog. This is the dog beach, is it not? Walking your dog? Very funny. Sprinkles was the only Dalmatian in town. Again, everyone knew that. She punched 3 numbers into her phone. Did you just dial 911? The fireman cocked his head, and Sprinkles instantly mirrored his movement. They looked rather adorable together, the dog napper and the traitor. Of course I did. You really don't need to do that. He pointed at the silver badge sitting right below the letter stitched onto his shirt pocket. I'm one of the guys who comes when you make that call. Is there something you need help with? Violet ignored him, manly wide shoulders and all, and gave the details of her whereabouts to the 911 dispatcher. The operator, Patty Jenkins, knew Violet by name. It was a small town, and Mrs. Jenkins sat at a desk approximately 10 feet away from her father's office. Send my dad, or Joe or Josh, send anyone, but please tell them to get here quickly. Someone is trying to kidnap Sprinkles. Violet's gaze flitted from the top of the fireman's head to the tips of his polished black boots. A firefighter. Oh, dear, the operator said. Exactly. Violet would have identified which fireman in particular was trying to abscond with her 4-legged best friend, but she didn't recognize him. So she ended the call, crossed her arms, and pinned the offending man with a glare. The police are on the way. Don't even think about running. I wouldn't dare, he said drolly. His utter shamelessness after being caught red-handed was really beginning to get on her nerves, as was Sprinkles' nonchalance. Didn't she realize she was in danger? The dog let out a squeaky yawn and plopped into a down position at the fireman's feet. Violet sighed as Sprinkles closed her eyes and rested her chin on the toe of his boot. Seriously? Sprinkles had developed Stockholm Syndrome in a matter of minutes. Maybe it was a Dalmatian fireman thing. Or maybe it had something to do with her kidnapper's charmingly mussed dark hair and his startling green eyes. Bottle green, like corked glass floating in the ocean with a secret love note hidden inside. Not that Violet had noticed those things. Much. The dogs that had joined her on the chase down the shore definitely seemed to notice. They sniffed at the fireman's feet, wagged their tails, and in general fawned all over him. When he crouched down to pet the corgi, the collective tail wagging went into overdrive. Honestly, the whole tableau was beginning to look like a page from one of those sexy firefighter calendars. Violet was aggressively annoyed. Just give me my dog, okay? She sighed, hating the tiny hint of desperation in her voice. Clearly, this man had no idea how much she loved her pup. If you do the right thing now, maybe you won't get arrested. Arrested? He stood, much to his canine fan club's disappointment. Tails drooped. A poodle mix sporting pink bows on its ears let out a mournful whine. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Good grief, he was smug. She couldn't wait for her dad or one of her brothers to show up and slap a pair of handcuffs on him. His perp walk was going to be a thing of beauty. Maybe she'd video it and put it on YouTube. Or TikTok. Or Instagram stories, or whatever social media site the kids were using these days. Violet herself wasn't ancient. At 28, she was technically a millennial, but she taught gentle yoga at the senior center, which meant most of her closest friends used walkers. Naturally, she'd developed something of an old soul herself. She glared at the firefighter, who looked light years from needing a walker. He could probably downward dog all day long without tipping over once. They held each other's gazes for a beat or two, just long enough for Violet's cheeks to go warm. Her insides were suddenly full of butterflies, which she attributed to the fact that she was currently the victim of a crime. Then the wail of a police siren pierced the loaded silence. Violet shot the fireman a triumphant smile. Not going to happen, huh? Keep telling yourself that, Cruella.
Never in his life had Sam Nash been likened to a Disney villain.